Hare Krishna devotees, both on YouTube and Zoom, welcome for ISKCON Seshadripuram, ISKCON West, outpost of ISKCON Seshadripuram for the Sunday evening feast program. Today we will continue with Srimad Bhagavad Gita class, verse number 29 and 30 of 6th chapter. 6th chapter is entitled Dhyana Yoga. Let's share the screen. सर्वभूतास्तं आत्मानां सर्वभूतानि च आत्मनि इक्षाते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः सर्वभूतस्थं आत्मानां सर्वभूतानि च आत्मनि इक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः सर्वभूतास्थं आत्मानां सर्वभूतानि च आत्मनि इक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः. Word meaning. Sarvabhutastam, situated in all beings. Atmanam, the super soul. Sarva, all. Bhutani, entities. Cha, also. Atmani, in the self. Ikshate, does see. Yoga Yukta Atma, one who is dovetailed in Krishna consciousness. Sarvatra, everywhere. Sama Darshanaha, seeing equally. Translation. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A Krishna conscious yogi is the perfect seer because he sees Krishna, the Supreme, situated in everyone's heart as Super Soul, Paramatma. Isvaraha Sarva Bhutanam Hridi Deshe Arjuna Tishtati. The Lord is in his Paramatma feature is situated within both the heart of the dog and that of a Brahmana. The perfect yogi knows that the Lord is eternally transcendental and is not materially affected by his presence in either a dog or a Brahmana. That is the supreme neutrality of the Lord. The individual soul is also situated in the individual heart, but he is not present in all hearts. That is the distinction between the individual soul and the super soul. One who is not factually in the practice of yoga cannot see so clearly. A Krishna conscious person can see Krishna in the heart of both the believer and the non-believer. In the Smriti, this is confirmed as follows. Atat vacha martvacha atmahi paramo harihi. The Lord, being the source of all beings, is like the mother and the maintainer. As the mother is neutral to all kinds of children, the Supreme Father or Mother is also. Consequently, the Super Soul is always in every living being. Outwardly also, every living being is situated in the energy of the Lord. As will be explained in the 7th chapter, the Lord has primarily two energies, the spiritual or superior and the material or inferior. The living entity, although part of the superior energy, is conditioned by the inferior energy. The living entity is always in the Lord's energy. Every living entity is situated in him in one way or the other. The yogi sees equally because he sees that all living entities, although in different situations, according to the results of the fruitive work, is in all circumstances remain the servants of God. While in the material energy, the living entity serves the material senses. And while in the spiritual energy, he serves the Supreme Lord directly. In either case, the living entity is the servant of God. This vision of equality is perfect in a person in Krishna consciousness. Let's discuss this. Then, if we have time, maybe we can go for the next one. सर्वभूतस्थं आत्मानं सर्वभूतानि च आत्मनि इक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शनः. A true yogi observes me in all being and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tamsa Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hari Om Tat Sat. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swaminiti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamataya Nagara Gramatarine. So this is in continuation of the previous verse where the Lord is saying, thus the self-controlled yogi constantly engaged in yoga practice becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in transcendental loving service of the God. Following that is the verse that we are discussing today, where it is saying, such a person actually sees everything, particularly every living entity, as being part of the Supreme Lord. And he is seeing him everywhere. So this is the verse. That means he comes to this position of equilibrium, looking at all entities as being part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or the Prabhupada here writes, elaborately we can discuss this. Because if he is seeing Krishna everywhere, that is the perfect position, right? Because Krishna is there in everyone's heart. So, Ishwaraha Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. That means Sarva Bhuta means all living entities. Ishwaraha is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hridi Deshe means in the area of the heart. Arjuna Tishtati. So, O Arjuna, he is situated. This is the word here, there. Therefore, the Lord who is situated in every living entity, he is called as Paramatma, and he is situated, and therefore a person who is perfectly in Krishna consciousness, he is able to see that Lord in everyone's heart, and therefore he treats everybody as Krishna. In that sense, not that, not to think therefore everybody is God. That is a slightly different matter. But here he sees Krishna in everybody. To see one as God or sees Krishna in that person are two different things. If you see, therefore, when you say, okay, I see Krishna in him, therefore he is Krishna, that is not the understanding. You see, here is a person and inside him is Krishna is another way of understanding it. So that is how it has to be understood, that because Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart as the Paramatma, as the super soul. So that means he is situated everywhere, not only in very well qualified Brahmana, where we give a lot of respect when we see learned people. But it's here Prabhupada writes, even in the heart of a dog, the Lord is situated. So, so it could be even a hawk, or even, whatever small living entities which are living even in the stool, right? But we have to understand the Lord is there even inside them. Therefore, the ability to look at universal brotherhood is actually in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it is artificial, right? You try to bring, like, when we all take the oath, all Indians are my brothers and sisters. So there you are trying to create a kind of a definition of your people by calling everybody in India are my brothers and sisters. But nay, the entire universe are your brothers and sisters. Why only India, or my one who was also born from the same womb is your brother and sister? No, not just India. It is the whole universe, all living entities, not just humans, all living entities. And, and it's otherwise it's artificial. If you simply say this is everybody's, or my, what is the basis of your saying? There has to be some logic of your saying, right? And that logic is clearly that Paramatma who is situated in my heart is situated in every living entity's heart, and he is the one who is actually connecting everyone. Therefore, naturally, every one of us are connected, and we respect each other and see Krishna in them. This is the way and that therefore it becomes very logical, very simple, very straightforward, and we treat everyone with that respect because Krishna is living in their heart. And here Prabhupada also clarifies, this is the difference between a human and the Supreme Lord. That means a human also has a soul who's sitting inside this body, but he is only sitting inside his body. He is not sitting inside another body. So therefore we cannot call ourselves as God. Now if you are God, then you should be able to be there in everyone's heart. Maybe some people may remember you very nicely, you are such a wonderful person, so everybody like, that is also being in the heart. But here, even if you take that, nobody is in everyone's heart, right? But the Supreme Lord is in everyone's heart. So that's the difference. So we cannot call ourselves God. We are limited. The Supreme is actually unlimited. There are as many microorganisms are there in everyone's heart. The Supreme Lord is there. We cannot be like that. We can be if you are a very popular person, maybe everybody loves you for that purpose, But it's all relative. It could be within a country, within a state, or even if someone is well known all over the universe and very dear to everybody, is very nice, so everybody likes him from Antarctica to Arctic Circle, whatever. But still, there are many other jivas which they have no connect to this individual personality. And therefore, you cannot call that person as actually God, right? He's some popular personality, that's okay, or very nice personality, that's also okay. But he's not God. God is actually in every living entity's heart, and he can understand everybody's emotions. He can understand everybody's happiness. He can understand everybody's distress. And that's why so many times I've quoted this many times, but that's a fact. Many times when we are feeling, oh, I have not met this person for a long time, sometimes when we see, then you you see that person calling you, right? Or you suddenly he lands up right in front of your eyes. So these things are all because there is this Paramatma connect. He's in your heart, he's in that person's heart. And if you are really feeling for it, then Krishna makes that person also know it, because he's in that heart. He knows what's happening in your heart. Quickly he conveys that, and then that person feels like meeting you or calls you up or whatever. This is the, Paramatma talking, they say. When something like this happens, they say, oh, this is Paramatma's pastime. Paramatma made this happen. So that is how he is able to do that. Because he is there in everyone's heart. He knows what's happening. What you are thinking, he is able to understand. He is sitting right next to you in the heart. And he is neutral. So that is another thing. He is neutral. He does not choose, oh, no, this person is a good person, I will be. But this person is a very bad person, therefore I will not be in his heart. No. He is everyone's friend. He says, Krishna says, I am the well-wisher of everyone. What is that verse? Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam. Is that in that one? Or Aham Sarvasya Prabho Mattas Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajate Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. In that one? or Bhogeshwarya Prashaktanam Taya Pahrita Chetasam. Bhogeshwarya Prashaktanam Traya Prakrita Chetasam Vyavasaya, no. It says Bhogeshwarya Prashaktanam Taya Prakrita Chetasam. What is the next word, if anybody can remember? There it says, I am the well-wisher of everyone. 5.29, I think. 5.2. 5.29. Sorry, not Bhogeshwarya. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Surdam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mruchati. That's the one. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sugrudam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mruchati. Sugrudam Sarva Bhutanam means what? Here also that same Bhutanam, right? Sarva Bhutanam. Sugrutam means one who is a well-wisher, one who is one who benefits everybody. Sugrutam. Sarva Bhutanam. And one who understands this, Nyatva Mam Shanti Mruchati. Nyatva means one who knows me as the well-wisher of everyone. What does he attain? Shanti Mruchati. He attains peace. So this is very wonderful. Here also we are seeing the same thing. If you are able to see Krishna as the well-wisher of everyone and who is situated in everyone's heart, then you become very peaceful. You are completely in a equilibrium state and you are very happy. This is one of the things that we need to understand. So a person who is very well accomplished in yoga should be in this position, that he should be able to see Krishna everywhere. That's important. And again, when you say neutral, sometimes we are very favorable to devotees, but those who are not devotees, we sort of become hatred, right? Oh, these people are all like that, like this and all that. But here he sees them with Samadarshana. You can see this very much in Prabhupada's thing. There was one discussion happening. Prabhupada was traveling in a train, and from Calcutta to Mayapur or somewhere. And then there was some Indian who came and sat, and he started arguing with Prabhupada that God has Mayavad, God is impersonal and God is not. And Prabhupada really blasts him. That fellow, no, if you talk like this, I will go away from here. And then he immediately walks away, gets out of that place. Then another devotee actually tells him, you should not be talking. And he will be arguing with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada philosophically will be getting angry. So that man will say, no, he's a Swamiji, you should not be talking like that. And all that. That man will come back and sit. Then Prabhupada will say, did you feel insulted? Like that, Prabhupada will. And he will be smiling at that man. Oh, it's not like I got angry, I'm shouting at you, and therefore, you are not my, you are in my hit list or in my negative list. No. Prabhupada is actually very, very, what do you call, a well-wisher of everyone. He writes also, well-wisher, you are ever well-wisher, like that when he said. So that's the fact. Because his anger is more to correct our philosophy, just like a doctor. He takes this, the knife to cut through the disease, right? He will cut through. That doesn't mean he is angry. He is actually cutting you. Maybe sometimes blood is coming, pus is coming, whatever. He is piercing you to stitch it. But at the end of the day, the entire process is to actually cure us, right? So that, then we become very nice, because we are completely infected with so much nonsense in our body, and we need to be given that kind of a treatment to remove all the nonsense. And then we become very happy. So the same thing, a spiritual master also cuts through our anarthas. Therefore, he will sometimes be like a thunder. We may feel, oh, how is it that he is really telling such things at us? But he is never having any animosity at us. That's something which we all need to be very. Sometimes the spiritual master may get little angry at us. That doesn't mean that he's really angry at us. It may always be to correct us. But inside, he's never like that. He's perfectly in equilibrium. He's perfectly neutral to our position. Never that he is my favorite disciple or he is my worst disciple. No, a spiritual master never thinks. Just like a mother never thinks like that, right? About the two children. If she has two children, she may say that child is good in so and so. That doesn't mean she is putting the other child down. That may be a statement of fact. But when it comes to love, she has equal love for both the children. So that's like that. And spiritual master is like that. And here the pure perfect practitioner of yoga is also like that. He is very neutral to everybody, be it an animal or one who's intelligent or who's favorable to you or one who's not favorable to you. That kind of a mood they have. And then it's also mentioned, the Lord being the source of all beings is like the mother and the maintainer. So that's already there. As the mother is neutral to all kinds of children, the supreme father or mother is also. Consequently, the super soul is always in every living being. So that is one. Now, this is the internal side. Like, you are actually seeing the Lord inside you in your heart. So the one side is, Lord is situated inside us. And we are supposed to see everybody carrying the Lord in their heart. Externally, how it is also Prabhupada is elaborating. We all know this. There can be only two situations. Either you are favorable to the Lord or you are, you are unfavorable to the Lord. Two situations. If you are favorable to the Lord, you are in the spiritual side. If you are unfavorable to Lord, you are in the material side. Again, only two situations. But both are actually the energies of the Lord. You cannot get away from the Lord either way. So sometimes we think, I am independent. I actually do not accept God. God does not exist. Whatever you can say. Just like someone born in this world cannot say that I don't have a father or mother. They may have left the world. Physically, they may not be there. But you cannot exist without having a father or mother. Right? There is someone who has given you the the substance from which your body is made. It could even be someone who's made through, I don't know if it's through test tube, or even if it is made through a cloning. You are still not independent of that, whoever gave you the cell for the cloning, right? So that person automatically becomes your father or mother. So, So the point is, we may say God does not exist, but the fact is God remains, and we are actually part and parcel of the Lord. And it's part and parcel of the energy of the Lord, which is the superior energy. And this is the living entity. Living entity is part of the supreme, the higher energy of the Lord, superior energy. And this so the spiritual world is also is a superior energy of the Lord, and the jiva is also part of the superior energy of the Lord. But those who are unfavorable to the Lord, they are actually cast into this material world, which is another energy of the Lord, which is we call the external energy. And we can float around here, but that is also the energy of the Lord. So there's no getting away. Either you are surrendered to Him and you are under His direct control, or if you are not surrendered to Him, you are under His indirect control, which is called Maya or Prakriti, whatever you want to call it. You are under the control of the Lord through His external energy, which is called Maya or Prakriti. And we are basically that superior energy of the Lord, also called as marginal energy, because we could either be in the spiritual sphere, that means favorable to the Lord, or in the material sphere, unfavorable to the Lord. Next is the yogi sees equally, because he sees that all living entities, although in different situations, according to the results of fruity work, in all circumstances remains the servant of God. So this is what I think we are just going. Basically, the yogi, whether he accepts or not the other person, it doesn't matter to him. He still sees you as the servant of God. I may not agree that I am servant of God, but the yogi knows that I am servant of the God, and therefore he is looking at you more like Amsha of the Lord, a servant of the Lord, an authority of the Lord. Not that, like how, if for example, if you are aware, like the president's office, country's president's office, if either his secretary or even if it is his helper, someone is there, how will you treat them? You won't treat them very badly, right? You will give them a lot of respect. He may not be the president, but he's president's helper, let's say, or president's secretary or president's bodyguard also. If supposing the president's bodyguard comes to Bangalore and you happen to know the president's bodyguard, even if you are a CEO of the company, you will certainly respect that person because he's the servant of the president, the highest authority of this country. Like that. And here it goes one step to say whether that person knows he is the servant or not. If you will know because you are already perfected yoga and you will give him the due respects due to him, irrespective of his position of being favorable or not favorable. So that's the position of a true perfect yogi. While in the material energy, the living entity serves the material senses, and while in the spiritual energy, he serves the Supreme Lord directly. In either case, the living entity is the servant of God. This vision of equality is perfect in a person in Krishna consciousness. So, if a yogi will come to this state at some point in time practicing his yoga. But if you are Krishna conscious, even rudimentarily you know that everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. You don't have to perfect your yoga to come to this understanding because we as devotees understand this very well. And that is why we address each one as Prabhu. Prabhu means what? Master, right? It's not like, some people also make fun when they see ISKCON devotees calling, oh, Prabhu means they will make fun. But the idea is, I am actually accepting the other person as superior to me, that he's the Amsha of the Lord, or he's carrying the Lord in his heart, and I give him all respect and I call him Prabhu, like that, and again, women also Matajis. That's a very high, elevated position to call someone as, mother, very great quality of women. I can't call a man, however great he is, mother, right? It's very artificial. But a woman, any woman can be called a mother because there is so much nice motherly quality in a woman. And it's natural. And when you call someone mother, you are giving them a high pedestal, right? So idea is we put them ahead of us, in a way that, to develop that, what do you call that attitude of looking at everyone with respect, with thing we call Prabhu or Mataji. And this comes, everybody, even a child actually behaves like that. If you see, you don't have to do a lot of yoga to come to this point of time because we know the understanding of everything emanates from Krishna. So if you are with Krishna, sometimes whether you know or not, it doesn't matter. You are already in the right path. Just like we say, right? If you say, some child says 1 + 1 is equal to 2, whether the child is able to prove it mathematically or what, then there will be a lot of mathematical proofs, right, to say that how is 1 + 1 is equal to 2. He or she, that child may not know, but then what the child is saying is correct. Like that, when you are taking to Krishna consciousness, whatever you are doing is already perfect. There's nothing that, you need to acquire through yoga practice or you have to acquire through some other way, the study of lot of Vedas, Upanishads, everything you have to study to come to that. If you are doing that already, Vedaischa sarver aham eva vedyaha. That means the purpose of all your studies of Veda is only to know me. Vedaischa sarver aham eva vedyaha. Only I am to be known through the study of the Vedas. Like that, whether you study, but if you already come to that conclusion, why to waste time studying? Not that you should not study. I mean, that gives you more knowledge to convince, sometimes when you get this doubt, you get reassurance when you read the scriptures. And also to be able to convince others, you need knowledge, right? People may not be accepting unless they are given some proof. Well, today's world is all about show proof. So you can actually know that. But if you don't know, it's okay still. You are still perfectly situated when you are surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So that is what we have seen in this verse. It is 7:55. Maybe we can see one more verse today. Or maybe should we stop here and we can take some questions or comments. Maybe by 8:05 we can close. This one seems to be slightly bigger. What do you all want to do? Stop here or go with one more? Maybe we will stop here and maybe we can discuss or any thoughts on whatever we have discussed up to now.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, first of all, thanks for elaborating that part. I have got one doubt, but there.
Yes,
Prabhuji. Okay, it is said there that okay, you should see in everybody the God, like, and then we should not discriminate. But nevertheless, we have been told like we should sort of with non-devotees or some of those Mayavadi, you should not intermingle. Yes. Now, is that sloka? Does that mean sloka is only for advanced soul and for us discrimination, or is it like little bit confusing for me?
Very nice, Prabhu. Very nice question, practical question, right? How do we see this in that light? It is also addressed here, but then the application of it we may not really understand. So this is a good question. I will share what I can understand. So the point is, you should be able to see Krishna in everybody's heart, right? But that doesn't mean you have to go and mix with everybody. These are two different things. So, for example, when you see a Mayavadi, right?
Yeah.
You look at them with equal vision, means you do not immediately look down on them. That's the point that's being made. But at the same time, don't go on associating with them and try to take their influence into you. These are two different things. Like, for example, when I, when I'm on the bus stand, let's say, so I see 2-3 people standing there. I'm not very either don't go and shake hands and say, oh, you are, like that. But I also don't disrespect them. They are there. By chance, I stamp their feet or something. I say sorry, right? I have the mood that, I should not have done that to you. But that doesn't mean I go and hug them because I don't even know them. But in that stop, you come over, I immediately, hey, Hitesh Prabhu, then I hold your hand, I shake your hand, I embrace you, whatever, right? So the point is that person is there. I respect him as a person, but I don't have any overly interactive thing with that person. But I don't look down upon them. The same thing, those who are favorable, you will be associating with. Those who are not favorable, you will respect them, but you will not associate with. And nothing wrong with that. But we should not look down simply because he is also carrying Krishna in his heart. Here that was discussed. That means he may be against Krishna, but a true yogi knows that he is also a servant of Krishna. He may not, his Mayavadi is not accepting Krishna, right? That's the point. But we know, even though you don't accept or understand, you are still a servant of Krishna only, Baba. Therefore, I respect you because you are a servant of Krishna. But then I don't come and have a lot of gyan from you because anyway, what gyan you have is not correct gyan. Why will I try to get influenced myself with your gyan? I may try to give my gyan maybe, if possible. Otherwise, I will keep neutral. I will say, Baba, how was your day? Like that, little bit of thing. And of course, if you see a Mayavadi sannyasi also, right, we pay our obeisances. Not that you immediately go and say, oh, Maharaj Ji, please give me a lecture on Bhagavad Gita. Like that, we don't go to him. But we pay obeisances to him and walk away from that place. Does it clarify, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhuji, that is clarifying to me.
Yes.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Yeah. So this is very important. See, sometimes even during when we preach, when we see some people who are very against, in our preaching, we get very angry with them. One is philosophically, yes, you should get angry. Means like you cannot accept any nonsense that is being told. That's an insult actually. and you are also getting angry to basically to correct that person. So in that sense, but we have nothing against that person. That should be very,
Yeah.
very clear. You should be able to smile at that person very nicely after a big argument.
Yeah.
That we should develop. Like, I don't look at you as someone who's competing or who's giving. No, I am trying to share this information because it's not something which I am saying. It is the parampara which is saying, and I am conveying it to you. But personally, I have nothing against you. I love you. No, that should be our general mood. When you preach to people like that, people also understand where you are coming from rather than looking at you as, some fanatic or, some kind of this kind. There are so many such things happen.
Oh.
Hare Krishna. General point,
Hare.
this is not that, thing, but these are some other side aspects which will actually help us to, overall look at the situation.
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Thanks.
Hare Krishna. Thanks
Hare
for that question.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Rohit Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Firstly, apologies if there is any background noise.
No, nothing is there.
Thank you. Maybe a little bit off topic, Prabhu, but a question which has been there in my heart, and maybe it's personal, maybe I feel it. But there are days that, and you said, Krishna is in everybody's heart. I completely agree with that. There are days where I feel that closeness in a very, very evident way. There are days that I feel separate. Is that true, or is it something that we make out of in our heads?
No, so actually that is true. Actually why we have come out here is because we are feeling we are separate from Krishna. That is the reason why you and I are here in this material world. Factually, we were not interested in being with him. Sometimes it may feel very uncomfortable to hear this, but that is the real reason why we all have come here. So Achyuta Prabhu keeps saying this one many times, right? When someone went and asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, sometimes, we are in Maya or something. Then Prabhupada said, no, all the time you are in Maya. Only little time you are in Krishna consciousness. Like this, very rarely we can connect with Krishna in our heart, but other times we are actually away from Krishna. Because we came out and we have been in that kind of a conditioning for time immemorial. But now, with Prabhupada's mercy, we are trying to revive our original constitutional position, our relationship with the Lord. And therefore, we are now able to connect to Krishna more often than earlier. So, you are able to feel that closeness with Krishna at times, but most of the times we are not able to feel that. Because we decided to disconnect from Krishna, and that is the state we are still in most of the time. But now with that knowledge, with by the mercy of the parampara, we have got this little understanding that, no, you are actually part of Krishna, Krishna is with you and all that. Then we are trying to, maybe yes. And we want to get back to our original position, and therefore we are trying. And as we are sincere there, we can actually relate to Krishna. But the times when we are not sincere, we can actually go away from Krishna. So this keeps happening on and off. And the idea is to always keep that attitude that, I am with Krishna. And actually that is fact. Prabhupada says, right, whatever be the difficulty, you don't worry about anything. Because if a pure devotee actually clearly understands, I am with Krishna, anything is happening is completely under control of Krishna. I have nothing to fear. One of the main, you remember last week or the week before we were discussing, Utsahat, Nischayat, Dhairyat. Dhairya is that fearlessness. One who is perfected is devotional, he will have no fear. He will become, fear means whatever be the situation, he will never have fear. Like Prabhupada is so small compared to this Western disciples and all the other Westerners, right? Devotees, non-devotees, everybody. But Prabhupada had no iota of fear. Like we also sometimes we see, right, when you're working for multinational companies, when these Americans come, we suddenly, our confidence level is slightly pushed back because they are really like Kshatriyas. The way they speak, the way they project themselves, the way they are behave and all that, we sort of become little overwhelmed by that presence. But Prabhupada never, he was completely in control, and they will be like this in front of Prabhupada, whoever it is. That is because Prabhupada was fearless that way, because he knows Krishna is there with him all the time. So these are all symptoms of someone who's actually got that closeness with Krishna all the time. But we are on and off. But there are times when we feel very close. There are a lot of times when we don't feel close. So that's actually a real thing in my view, whatever you mentioned. It's not mental. Does it somewhere connect, Prabhu?
Very, very, very much. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thanks for this question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay, is there any other comments, questions? Okay. So with that, maybe we will close today and meet. Of course, next week you are all going to be there in, ecstatic picnic in Gosai Ghat celebrating Panihati festival. And the week next is also going to be Guru Maharaj visit. So we will all be physically meeting. That will be, I suppose, in Gayatri Vihar, hopefully, in Palace grounds. So we will keep you all posted. The schedules are more and more firming up. So we will have the association of His Holiness Bhanaswami Maharaj also. And I don't know if there are other Swamijis or Sannyasis coming up, Maharaj coming up. So coming to Bangalore, I'm not sure. So as these things freezes, I will let you know. I'll keep you also posted, Rohit Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
So with that, we will close. Now, next 2 weeks is going to be maybe not, we may not have this online class, but mostly we will meet each other in some form and shape. So take care, have a nice time, enjoy your personal associations wherever you all can, at least next Sunday. And of course, the next week, I'm hoping all of us actually get to meet. I don't know, Kapil Prabhu, maybe we will take him on call and then show him Kapil Prabhu, Amarendra Prabhu. We can take him on a Zoom call and show what Guru Maharaj is there. I mean, at least he will, anyway, it will be telecast live for them. But nonetheless, the rest of us, we can all meet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. And of course, Panihati after happening this after almost 3 years now.
Yes.
So, I'll be really missing that. I have been there 2 to 3 times, if I recall, I mean, the best outing that I have ever had.
Yes.
I have gone to picnics within India, sometimes abroad also, but the energy and the kind of environment I got there, I never felt, people go to resorts and all in this corporate world. And, some family get-togethers, there is a trend these days, let us go to some Wonderla or something like that, But whatever, and the food, and you sit there and take a holy dip, and it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And temple authorities, within a matter of 2 to 3 hours, they convert that place to a temple. When I went for the first time, I thought that how come, they can do all this in 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And it was looking like, some open ground, and I thought, how will they convert? But when the event actually happened, I was shocked that within 3 hours, the whole place got converted into a temple.
Yeah.
And the food they made there. So I am just, trying to tell that people who have not gone must not miss this golden opportunity.
Yeah.
Even though I may not be able to join this, but I can tell you that it is an opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah. I'm not able to make it, so I can feel it, whatever you are saying anyway.
Yes, Prabhuji. And the food, there seems, even though it is spiritual food, somehow it feels that as if it is the best meal you have ever had.
Yeah.
Sitting there after bath.
Yeah.
Right. And that Hati Vesha and also it's out of the world experience.
Yeah. It will be amazing. Enjoy, all of you, with Gaur Nitai. Nitai's mercy is most important. And that you will get plenty there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Thank you all.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So have a good time. I will keep you all posted and maybe we'll keep in touch online. Hare Krishna. In the meantime.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare Krishna to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all for
Hare
joining.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna devotees on YouTube. Thanks for joining and we will meet again in 2 weeks' time.